as you keep heading on, you see up ahead a large, one of those little scraggly trees that is completely covered in dangling pieces of thread and rope and pieces of bone that are all hanging from the tree in different directions.
Well, that's pretty.
Anyone being from the Hylar at any point in time recognizes this. It is the sign of it's a Tali'Kma tribal warning. Basically, past this point, you need permission from the tribe in order to enter this.
Okay. And the path heads straight through?
Path heads. It doesn't head straight through it, but next to it, into the area.
Huey like, slows down and begins looking for the outer, like, scout, because she's like...
You recognize this? I mean, I assume Huey just tells us what it is.
Huey just kind of waves her vines. Hold. She begins looking around to see if she can find the outer scouts, because she's like, there should be Tali'Kma scouts around here.
Okay.
Passing that tree without permission is certain to bring a Tali'Kma tribe
we'll
on
knock
us.
on the door, and by that I mean...
On the side of the tree?
Sticks.
Oh.
Just bang the sticks with it. That log.
Looking off into the distance, you can see another one of those trees that's maybe a quarter a mile away, maybe a little less. That looks like it's decorated. From this distance, you can't really tell what's on it, but it's probably another one of those little tribe markers. Off to one side, and off to the other side, you see the same thing. But beyond that, there doesn't seem to be any... There's a lot of movement everywhere, because there's birds and frogs and all sorts of lizards and whatnot. But there doesn't seem to be any large movement off in the distance in any direction. However, looking off to either side, you can see that you guys are coming up on a waterway.
Do I know how most of, like, the ones in the Hylar were in the marsh, so she doesn't know how marsh Tali'Kma work, but in the Hylar, having dealt with, like, quite a few Tali'Kma tribes in the area, is there a common signal that they usually use? Is there something that,
It varies tribe to tribe, depending on a lot of different things.
Okay.
And certain tribes don't mind if you travel through their area. There's certain tribes that are just okay with it, but that's the sign of this is our hunting territory. Now, if you hunt in their territory, they will go out of their way to hunt you.
Yeah.
But if you just walk through, certain tribes are perfectly fine. Other tribes will kill anyone on sight if they're in their hunting grounds. So it's...
Is there a way to tell by all the little stuff they do? What type of...
Yes. If you can give me a straight wisdom check.
Well, I mean, I suppose it makes sense. Like there was the tossers back
or
home.
Insight, I guess would be better.
And the rounders. They got along like cats in a bag. And so, like, if a rounders ever saw a cat wearing the tossers collars,
this one here, you see the way the bones are arranged. You see that there are a lot of crosses that are being made with the bones, and that typically is a do not enter global thing. You also notice that there are no skulls anywhere on the markings, which means typically that this is not only a hunting ground, but a private ground. So,
like almost a sacred type ground?
Correct. So this definitely is one of the tribes that enter on pain of death.
Huey kind of stops. Went through there. She starts letting out various little whistling noises, you know, trying to see if she can draw the loud enough, since she can do this, that she can kind of be heard above like a lot of the natural noise to make sure that any Tali'Kma nearby can hear her. So she's trying to use some of the various signals she knew. She's like, they might not use the same thing, but they might be at least recognized, so they'll come talk to us.
Okay. So starting to let out the signals, you attract a bunch of birds, but other than that, after about 10 minutes of making different noises, you do not see, anything bigger than birds and lizards and stuff.
She just looks at the birds.
A lot of the birds kind of fly up to around you, and they fly over to where the totem is, and they just sort of like gather on the tree.
Could you try to attract something that's got some good eating in it? Like, none of that's more and more like a mouthful or something.
Some of the birds are actually fairly large.
Ritual! I need to talk to those!
Some of the birds are about the size of a chicken.
Okay.
But some of the birds are marsh birds are pretty big.
Do not attack the birds. I need to talk to them.
Can I do it after you talk to him?
No.
But
How long does?
but that one tastes like chicken.
How-
I'm trying to pull it up.
It's wild bird.
You're
It'll
using
be-
Speak with Nature as a ritual.
That would be very stringy.
It takes 10 minutes to cast, lasts for 10 minutes.
Okay. So please note that you spent money on it. Component cost is
80.
80.
Oh.
It's fairly low. Low level ritual. Okay. So I believe the check is on her if she's assisting you, correct?
If we drop that much money, it's not worth our time.
Or is it a nature
no.
arcana?
It's a key skills nature.
Okay. So I assume you have to assist her since you are the ritual caster.
Yes.
My nature is shite.
And you can use her check.
Okay, so
You just have to assist.
I'm just rolling to assist,
Yes.
which is at this DC
14.
a 14. Woo! Squeaks 15.
I was going to say.
Plus 2. Go ahead.
Oh no!
Considering
I'm sorry. 14 on the die.
I was going to say, considering I rolled a 19, my base is 21.
So
32.
32.
You get 3 questions.
3 questions.
42.
42. Enjoy.
So now we learn about life, the universe, and everything.
Right.
From a peacock.
So which one of the birds are you speaking to specifically? There are a bunch of
One that
smaller
looks
birds,
delicious.
and there's 2 of the larger birds.
That's the one with the big
When they
eyes.
came, oh, well, I was going to say, when they came in, did any of them fly in from that direction?
A couple of them did, yeah.
Those are the ones she's talking to.
Okay.
Okay.
So I would
One of
say
those.
coming in from that direction, you notice there's a couple very multicolored ones that are very very small. Almost they're basically like finches, but they're the colors of peacocks.
Okay.
And then there are a couple of
Owls?
there are no owls,
Damn it.
but there are a couple up on the very
Not
top,
out here.
It
of-
is daytime.
very small hawks that are paying attention.
Yeah. She'll talk to those guys.
Predators pay better
So-
attention than prey.
What's your question?
The first question is,
Where's the
Are-
nearest Deligma?
are there? Well, actually,
So we get 3.
3 questions, yeah.
Yeah. Are there? Is there a Talikma group that lives within that area over there?
Looks like the bird is straining a little bit to understand what Talikma means, but then the word kind of gets across, and the bird nods its head yes.
Okay.
Ask him about. What's his name again?
Poggle?
Poggle. Ask him about Poggle.
Did a human male come through here that way?
The bird responds yes.
We get one more.
Did
You
the
can ask if we will be killed.
Well,
Did
we
the-
know that.
did the lizard folk grab him, or did he make it true?
Actually, her big thing is she wants to be able to try to figure out a way through this, or we're gonna have to go around. So she's like, did the Talikma, the people in there, take the human man? Okay, no. So that was my 3 questions. She's like,
If he could wander through there in a straight line,
And not get grabbed.
being about as careful as a Wyrix in a blacksmithy, I'm thinking we may be able to.
My thing is A, we're talking about a man who we don't know for sure how he does it, but he can vanish from the sight of a Rarin. I think he can vanish from the sight of a Talikma.
I got the impression that he didn't do it on
But
command.
and he's leaving tracks.
I know there's a appearing here.
We don't know what he can and cannot do when he's like that.
On one hand, we ought to be careful because it'd be better if we didn't end up dead. On the other hand, it seems like he pulled it off without trying.
I
Like
don't
what?
really
Like
want to
he pulled it off
antagonize the
without trying.
Talikma in this area. I would rather try to get their attention.
Well, try it.
Okay. So what do you guys do?
You want me to get their attention? I need a couple bucks.
He's gonna do pyrotechnics.
Yeah. Boom! Hey guys!
In Talikma. He was like, the problem is going through here, we're not just walking into their territory, we're walking into their sacred ground.
So I shouldn't go setting things on fire?
Well, I mean, we've announced our presence.
I look
They're not here to tell us no. And he's
I look-
already walked through.
I look to either side. Do I see more of the trees like on either side so that I can see like a perimeter?
You can see, from where you're standing, you can see two more of the totems that are off in the distance. It's a little hard to see anything other than it's a tree that looks different. But, yes, you do see something that shows this is kind of like a border.
Okay.
Would we
And
be able
he
to
went
follow the
through it
trail?
and beside it?
He went
Yeah.
directly into it. He's not quite perpendicular to the line that's made by these three trees, but pretty close.
Let's just go.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's probably for the best.
If
We
nothing
can
else,
hit anything.
look, we can tell them that we're looking for the man that went through before us, just to take him back, so that he won't be intruding on their territory anymore.
And if they don't like us, we can just hit them.
And if we solve the problem about the Bogars, they'd probably be really thankful and owe us a favor.
It's worked out for us in the past.
They're not going to be thankful. They're not going to ask questions. They are just going to attack us for being on their sacred ground.
Well,
And
we will
then we'll
defend
help
ourselves
them.
accordingly. You're talking to a group that broke a hospital.
Is there something we can do? Is there something we can do to try to get their attention better?
Than what we've already done.
Can I think of anything else that I know of that would get their attention?
Not really.
I can set off fireworks.
Specific tribes may have individual things that like you're supposed to do when you get there, but you
Yeah,
wouldn't notice
yeah.
once you've not been here before.
Yeah. He's like,
We could scoot back a ways, we could pick a tree, and I could turn it into a giant column of fire and smoke, and then they may come and try to find out why there's a giant column of fire and smoke right next to their sacred grove.
Or we could just go in.
We've got the diplomatic
I
corps.
agree with Amulet.
Yes!
I need to rethink my life.
So yeah, we walk through.
Yep, we're gone. Amulet's already halfway in.
Alright, so Amulet crosses the border. And
Oh,
keeps
God.
heading for it. Anything else for anyone else? Because we have at least, I think, 2 people in the party that have walked away.
yeah, Huey is.
If we've tried everything we can try, I feel like Hiwi would acquiesce to the group if we've run out of stuff to try.
Right.
Well, her problem is she does not want to go in there. She wants to go around.
We can't go around. The path goes straight in.
We've gone around a lot of other things that the path went right through.
We don't know how big it
The
is.
two
How
other,
far-
the
how
two
far
other
around
totems
do we
are,
have to go?
the 2 other totems that you can see, like I said, are on the distance. They're
Yeah.
far enough away that you cannot see anything about the tree, other than the tree looks a little different from the other trees around it.
And we will not be able to follow the path from the upper top.
We could let Amulet and Toy follow the tracks while we goes around.
Is there any way, if I can tell if there is some type of a spiritual kind of spell on this tree that will be able to notify the tribe of us passing?
That would be Arcana.
Or religion.
That's why I was kind of asking.
I
Is
would
there
say
a way to tell?
religion or arcana check
Okay.
for 2 different types to
Sean,
recognize
have
power.
you
She
Taken one
looks
read
at the 2 of you. She's
Can you
like,
please?
look at the tree, please, to see if they have some type of
I got
detection.
religion. No, I
You're
can
doing Arcana, because we don't have to do Arcana and religion.
Well, they're two
Arcana would
different
tell you if
pieces.
it's magic. Religion would tell you if there's primal.
Right.
Right. So let's do Arcana first, because I shouldn't assist with religion.
All right.
I
I
just
think it's
assisted
kind of
with
funny
Arcana.
that it's religion for primal when
that's
it
a
should be religion
30
for divine.
That's a 31
It is for both.
on 31 by myself for Arcana.
33.
It
So
does not
33.
appear to be any magic.
Okay. Nah, shiza.
Can anybody
less-
assist with religion?
So,
That is a 29 on religion.
does not appear to be any sort of connection to anything religious associated with this.
Yeah, it seems to be fine.
see any power.
So
from
it's just
that.
a tree they dressed up. They didn't put any like arcane locks on it or explosive runes or anything.
Not that. Well, if it was arcane runes, I mean, if it were arcane runes, explosive runes, we would have knowledge of that because it would have blown up as soon as we looked at it.
Hi.
So no.
So I mean, if they ain't protecting their perimeter actively, I mean,
Yeah.
Go do the
Go.
Okay.
he's finishing the RP.
Alright,
I
yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But you got it from the table last time. It didn't do it.
Yeah, it's been like almost an hour since we first said it.
Oh. I actually
So-
went upstairs to get my ritual list, and it wasn't printed out. So I should go upstairs and check. And that, yeah.
Yeah,
Please.
thanks.
So yeah, does not appear to be anything.
Well, they won't be automatically alerted. They will eventually
Kiwi,
find the
Amulet's
tracks.
already
just-
inside of the border with Toy
And Chunkus.
and
Chunkus,
Chunkus.
and probably Jack. Well, this motion tells me that you're probably walking.
That's Toy.
Oh,
That's
gotcha.
how Toy walks.
Gotcha.
Kiwi.
Just in the veil.
Kiwi
It's
looks
disturbing
kind
profile.
of angry right this moment. Not her normal, just mildly upset. Or she looks angry as she follows the group
my
in.
stuff is out of the dryer.
Angry
Thank you.
house.
I was about to say, I have the same
You have
restrictions on
insight?
touching your underwear.
Because right this moment, Huey just looked for a tree. She looks awfully mad.
See the mask changing and turning
Yeah.
into a snarl.
Woodwind, your leaves seem
Yeah,
like they're a
more
bit
angular.
All right,
more red currently.
So you keep heading north.
Are we getting
Yes.
into autumn already?
As you guys keep heading north, you go on another mile or so, and you see that waterway that was off to the distance start to come closer. Looks like that waterway is probably going to run somewhere near the middle of this territory. And up ahead, you can see off in the distance there's a little bit of signs of smoke. Probably a good few miles away. The marsh is extremely flat. It's varied, it's got life everywhere, but it's extremely flat. So yeah, you can see a little bit of smoke up in the distance.
Okay.
I just thought, what if it's a camouflage soul?
Huey
Is
is
the path
trailing.
leading towards the smoke?
The
Given
path
the-
seems to be going directly in the exact same direction as the smoke.
Given what Jack knows about fire,
Huey is kind
What?
of trailing.
what would be the appropriate check if Jack is looking at the smoke, trying to discern
Perception.
what manner of burning is
Substance.
taking place?
Perception.
Okay.
What is the substance that is burning?
Or how big is the other thing. Like, so it's a combination of how big and what, because it doesn't have to be that big if you're burning the right stuff and you make a shit ton of smoke. Or it needs to be really big to make enough smoke that you notice it from a distance. This is going to be awful. 18.
20.
Wicked! Alright.
Looking at the smoke from this distance, you've made enough fires in your day to recognize smoke
That
is,
you have a problem.
smoke is fairly dark, but is very wispy. That means that whatever fire has been set up ahead probably was a decent-sized fire at some point, or used some sort of bigger fuel, but it's burned down very significantly. So it's the tail end of what was
Of a
likely
big fire.
either something that was big on fire or a big fire.
I will inform the group of this.
Okay.
Woodwind, do you think there's any chance that the bloke who's following is also kind of sort of a bogarsh and maybe did something pleasant to a settlement up ahead, and that could possibly be a reason why the knot lizards didn't want to talk to us at the edge of their territory?
Because they've all been burned?
Or because they're distracted with trying to save their houses and stuff?
That's well, we can help.
Possible. The Bogarsh is not exactly the most.
They saw fire up ahead. Or they saw smoke up ahead.
The Bogarsh is not exactly known for its orderly behavior. It's a chaotic creature. I'm assuming that's pretty much all
Common
that we
knowledge.
really understand.
Anybody have a problem with double timing it a bit so that we can find out what the hell's going on up there?
That's me.
Alright?
Let's go.
Okay. So, heading up ahead, you can see, as you start getting closer, you see the edges of the settlement. Definitely looks like there are buildings that are kind of up on stilts, look like very small huts with just thatch roofs, that sort of stuff. Thatch, because thatch wouldn't be in a marsh, but you know what I mean.
Thatch roof cottages?
I will stab you in the heart. whatever is covering the roofs of these buildings.
Huts.
They're
Leaves.
huts. Sure, leaves, something.
Dried leaves.
Dried leaves.
Bark.
Packed
I
dirt.
just like
Does not matter.
cottages.
So,
Is that a thing?
you can see the outskirts of the village from here. There does seem to be some movement down in the village, but you can see
Are the huts on
very
fire?
obvious. No,
Okay.
the ones you can see are not on fire. Very obvious signs all around the outside of this area of tracks where big sections of mud have been moved. As you guys get a little bit closer, you can see up ahead there's, before you're even close enough to really discern anything about it, you see there is a large section of area that has been, the dirt and mud and stuff has been churned up outside of the village.
Are we still incidentally following the tracks of?
Yes.
Tracks are clear.
Yes.
So footsteps in the mud.
Yes.
Keep going.
Yeah, so keep going on.
Huey is
On the outside of the village,
going ahead. She's just like
passive perception for Huey is 24, I think.
26 actually.
26.
Or no, 24. Perception's 24. Insight's 26.
So going up ahead, you can see there are very large tracks. What you saw from the distance of being churning looks like something has gone through here and fought. You see there are obvious signs of weapons, spears, that sort of stuff that are broken in the mud, and there's blood, and as you get a little bit closer, you're starting to see body parts. Lots of body parts of Taligma. The body parts that you can see from a distance also look blackened.
So something came through, fought them. and burned
Huey is like, there was an obvious battle here. The Taligma are going to be in an even worse mood than they normally would have been.
We can offer to find and
Help?
stop whatever's attacking them.
Worst case scenario, the
Actually-
Bulgars count them up.
Actually, we need to keep moving because if they haven't found it yet, they're gonna come over here and we're at the crime scene.
You guys are now getting a little bit toward, not quite evening, but it's late afternoon.
Does hold on? Does precipitation cover scent?
Yes.
Okay, I am making sure that we are not leaving any kind of scent here.
Now, it won't perma-scent an area. You have to maintain it. So your scent, once you leave the area, will still be behind, because you do leave the scent.
Okay.
But it won't smell like anything when you're next to it.
So it's kind of.
Yeah.
It's
If we
useless
get
for
caught-
stopping tracks.
If we get caught, he can press the digitation and change what we smell like, so we can say, "No, that was some other group of crazy people."
Right.
That walked
So you
right
guys
up
are now on
to
the
us and then
edge
went underground.
of the area that's very churned earth. As you guys are coming along, and you can see again the little blackened bits of Taligma parts that are spread around.
Question. The tracks, the footsteps, are they on top of the churned earth or along?
The footsteps that you're following are on top of the churned earth.
So the churned earth
The
happened
churned
and
earth-
then he walked on it.
The churned earth, the churned earth itself does look at it like it is tracks of some kind.
Okay. So first the battle, fight, whatever, and then
You
How
walk through.
recent do these tracks look for Puggle, and how recent does that fight look?
The tracks you are following look like you guys are maybe a day or less behind him. The tracks that are on the ground look like they're a few days old. You can see some parts where whatever was churning up the ground left a indentation of a claw mark, and the claw mark has been filled with water, and there's already stuff growing in the claw mark.
Okay. Kiwi is going to stop and look at the book. Does it look like anything she knows?
Yes, it's just a little bigger than what you'd expect it to be.
Lyrics?
It looks like a bear paw.
It's a freaking huge bear.
The difference is each one of the bear's claws look like they're somewhere between 3.5 feet.
Why bears, Gary? Why bears?
everything is worse with bears.
Yeah.
I like bears.
Huey looks down at the bear paw.
So the mark where the bear paw hit the ground and then slid is almost as long as the couch is.
I want to meet this bear.
I think we will.
I I think it might be
Does
this.
it look like Puggle's tracks are moving along with that bear now?
Does not appear to. Get cross-sects where the bear was fighting.
Okay.
And the bear looks like it has gone into the village. Looks like there was a fight on the outskirts of the village, and then it went into the village.
Okay.
Should we
Keep going.
deviate and find the bear, or
Bear went into the village, and Poggle went into the village. Yes.
No, Paul went.
Yes.
Oh.
Huey kind of pauses for a moment.
Basically, here's
She's like-
the thing. You guys are on the outskirts. Here's the perimeter. You guys walk in. As you guys are walking in, you get across a scene that's this way, across your path, of the bear fighting something. Looks like probably bear fighting the Talika. Then you see the bear turn after the fight and go into the village, and you see Puggle's footsteps that are following vaguely in the same direction.
Well then.
So yeah, we
To
go
the
that way.
village.
Alright.
Either the Poggle either Poggle has.
Now, while you guys are
bear-
going through here, are you guys trying to move quickly, quietly? Like, what's the goal here? Is
I think we're
speed
moving.
or quietness
I
the
think
goal?
we're moving more quickly than quietly.
I
We learned
can't
a
do
long
quiet
time ago.
anyway,
None
so
of us are very quiet.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
So, moving into the
Amulet
village
has
fairly
no
quickly,
volume.
it has
now that
no
you guys are a
inside
little
voice.
closer, you can see what actually caused the problems. The waterway that's off to, I guess it's to your east, comes through the middle of the village, and you see that there is a large indentation on the edge of the village, kind of where the waterway comes towards. There's probably some sort of cave or burrow or something like that that's fairly large. In the middle of what probably used to be a decent-sized little Talikma village is a decent-sized bonfire now, with the ground looks completely destroyed. While the earth looked fairly churned outside of the village, this looks like it was something the same size as the bear got into a bear wrestling match with that bear. And there is blood everywhere.
Oh, great.
Is anything alive
So-
around here?
So he
Nothing
can,
seems to be alive around here. There are, well, actually that's not true. Nothing large it seems to be alive around here. There are still frogs and minnows and all kinds of crazy life.
Guys, Poggle can turn into the Bogart.
That's
That's what I was already afraid of.
Wonder how he does that.
You guys see
Because you
the
don't
the
control.
the
It's
footsteps
almost
still
I
leading
mean,
in a
so where
straight
does
line.
he keep all the bear?
Really?
I mean,
Did
all
the
water.
footsteps
Yeah.
stop, or
Do
did the
they go
footsteps
through the
seem to go
bonfire?
through this stuff?
The footsteps go near the bonfire. They walk over top of where part of the fire was and look to keep going north out of the village.
okay. Continue to follow the footsteps.
Okay. You see, as you guys are kind of looking around, signs that the bear looks like it left north and east, and the footsteps go due north. The bear looks like it crosses the river at one point, and when you guys get to the edge of the path, it's now going across the river. The river is going to be
We see the bear, not the bear's tracks. We see the
bear
bear.
tracks.
Okay.
It seems as if the bear tracks go to the edge of the water and go across the water, and you can see signs of where it got out of the water on the other side of the river. Poggle's tracks, since the river is fairly broad, it's maybe half a mile across. It's slow moving, but it's very broad. And you can't see from this distance whether he got out on the other side, but you see the tracks walk straight into the river.
So do we follow the river? I mean the bear, or Poggle?
Poggle.
Why is that a question?
Our target is Poggle.
Is the bear the
If
Bogart?
we choose
But
No.
I
to
want to
deal
follow the bear.
If
We'll
we
come back
choose
and we'll
to
find it
follow
later.
the bear later, we can do so, but our target is Poggle.
Yeah, we can probably catch him on the way back.
Okay, so how are you guys getting across this river?
I float.
Walking.
Are there, since the Talikma live on the river, are there any, like, boats or anything that they have?
No rafts.
Of course they swim. Silly me.
Don't see anything. You don't see any obvious ways of getting across this river.
Okay, so
I could have.
Vin, Amulet, and Toy
No
are
problems.
problem equals solved.
How wide did you say this
A
river?
half a mile, and it doesn't
How
look to
deep?
be. It's very murky. So,
Can't tell.
Toy's gonna walk in and see how deep it is.
okay. Toy walks in.
And at the mouth of the Mississippi,
What's Toy's
4,000
passive
years
check?
later, they discover an odd wooden-shaped mannequin.
22.
Mannequin-shaped wood.
So going into the river, Toy gets about I would say probably 20 feet into the river and steps directly underneath a crocodile, which sees the toy, turns its whole body down towards you, and then slams its body against you. You feel your magic kind of vibrate as the toy absorbs the damage. You lose a healing surge. The crocodile kind of turns and looks like it's going to continue to investigate whatever this is.
20.
Okay. That crocodile is probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 12 to 13 feet long. So it's not a huge magical crocodile, but it's a big enough crocodile to eat an iris.
Right. So.
And certainly chew on a jack.
So the moral of this story
So a
is we need to draw
perpendicular
down the water so we can
alligator
set it on
walks
fire.
out of the.
Huh?
A perpendicular alligator walks out of the water.
Feet
Hello.
with its tail upward.
Yes. Tail up, thrashing in the air.
It actually,
just two
goes to the
little
surface
legs.
and you start hearing an ominous clock ticking.
Whoa. This is awkward.
Yes, Jack.
Alright, so
So crocodiles.
Big scary things in the river. Probably want to eat you.
Big scary things on the riverbank.
Well, you know how you fix that?
Kill them?
There's this funny thing about crocodiles when it gets out of the water.
Alligator soup.
They don't normally come out of the water unless they're sunning, and this one's not sunning.
Or if they're mad. Somebody want to go and punch it in the nose and bring it out for us so we can hit it with sticks?
Yeah, but it's
There's
not going to be
probably
the only
more
one.
than one.
Why would we?
He just looks at you. She's like,
The
Jack,
crocodiles are
where
just
there's
being
one,
crocodiles.
there's like 20 of them somewhere nearby. Which means that
That sounds like enough to build a bridge to me.
I wonder how many crocodiles it would take for me to
Giant
surf a half
leather
mile.
bridge.
Huey kind of looks around to see. While
Does anyone else
Talitha
wanna
may
leave?
be able to swim,
Okay.
they would have to have something if they were going to transport things across the river and back. So she doubts that they would drag like prey and stuff through the river. So she's going to start searching around. There has to be rafts or boats or
What?
something.
Pistachios.
Oh.
Say
Don't
please.
snap at me.
Give
How
them
many-
up, son.
How many squares is a half mile?
I
A lot.
honestly don't know.
Like 500.
Let's see, a mile
A
is
square is-
5,280. So a half a mile is half of that, and then divide by 5.
So like
So
500.
5,280 divided by 10.
So like 500.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm not going to be able to just
5,020.
moriko my way out of this problem.
Yes. Looking through into the village, you see there are a lot of ropes hanging around,
Don't we have that floating disc?
and there are
Cast your floating disc? Yes, I can cast that.
there are little raft pieces, and you can see a lot of the raft pieces have extra ropes and stuff. So if they were to transport something on the waterways, what they would probably do is put the rope, attach the ropes in some way to them, and then they would drag a raft of some sort behind them.
How big are the raft pieces?
They're all different sizes. As you're looking around in the village, they're spread throughout.